Every day, millions wake up chained to the same prison: excuses, fear, and wasted time. They dream of greatness but live as servants to habit. The question is, will you continue as a prisoner, or will you rise as the ruler of your own life? Do you know why so many people remain stuck year after year, living the same routine, repeating the same mistakes, clinging to the same excuses? It is because they worship comfort. They build their lives around ease. They seek the softness of the pillow instead of the hardness of the battlefield. And yet they dare to ask why their lives never change. Comfort is the silent assassin of greatness. It whispers to you with a gentle voice, telling you to stay in bed a little longer, to skip the hard work today, to take the easy path tomorrow. Comfort convinces you that mediocrity is acceptable, that settling for less is logical, that smallness is safe. But understand this, nothing worth having has ever been born from comfort. Every empire, every fortune, every revolution of the human spirit was carved not in times of ease but in the fires of struggle. Comfort will disguise itself as love. It will tell you it is protecting you. It will insist that it is giving you peace. But peace without progress is slavery. A man at rest for too long becomes a prisoner of his own body, his own mind. You think you are free because you feel no pain, but in truth you are shackled. You are bound by invisible chains made of habits, fear, and excuses. And the cruelest part is this: you will not even notice your imprisonment until it is too late. Look around you. How many people do you know who once dreamed big, who once spoke of ambition, who once claimed they would rise to the top, but now live in quiet despair? They traded ambition for comfort. They traded potential for safety, and safety is nothing more than a decorated cage. The world belongs to who embrace discomfort, to those who understand that pain is not an obstacle but a teacher. A ruler who fears discomfort cannot lead. A soldier who fears pain cannot fight, and a human who fears struggle cannot grow. If you want to change your life, you must declare war on comfort. You must learn to despise it, to treat it as the enemy that robs you of your destiny. But let me reveal something deeper, something most will never admit. Comfort does not only keep you weak, it humiliates you, because deep inside your soul knows you are capable of more. Every time you choose the couch instead of the challenge, your spirit withers. Every time you silence your own ambition because the effort looks too heavy, your heart burns with shame. You may cover it up with distractions, with entertainment, with excuses, but the truth is always there: you betrayed yourself. Greatness requires discomfort. Discipline requires discomfort. Transformation requires discomfort. And here is the Machiavellian truth: the one who masters discomfort gains power not only over himself but over others, because most people will surrender to laziness. Most will collapse at the first sign of difficulty. But the few who endure, the few who keep going when others quit, become leaders, conquerors, kings. You see, in society itself is designed to keep you comfortable because comfort makes you controllable. Governments, corporations, systems, they feed you convenience. They give you entertainment on demand, food delivered to your door, and endless scrolling designed to keep your mind numb. They sell you the illusion of an easy life so you will never dare to rebel, never dare to rise, never dare to seize real power. The rulers of history understood this. Keep the people comfortable and you keep them weak. And weak people never revolt. So if you want to rise above the masses, you must break the spell. And you must deliberately step into discomfort. You must force yourself into situations that terrify you because it is there in the sweat, the exhaustion, the fear that you will grow. Think of a blade. It is only sharpened when it is ground against stone. Think of the body. It is only strengthened when it is torn in training. Think of the mind. It is only expanded when it is stretched by difficulty. Comfort may feel good now, but it steals your future. Discomfort may feel brutal now, but it gifts you strength, wisdom, and freedom. So when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself this: will I honor comfort or will I honor growth? Will I choose the softness of weakness or the fire of transformation? Because that choice, repeated every day, is the difference between a wasted life and a legendary one. And let us not pretend that this war will be easy. To abandon comfort is to abandon illusions. You will feel fear. You will feel resistance. Your mind will beg you to return to the warm prison of mediocrity. But here is the reality: discomfort is temporary, regret is permanent. Pain fades, but weakness lingers. And when the years pass, when you look back at your life, you will not remember the nights you slept peacefully. You will remember the battles you fought, the mountains you climbed, the moments you conquered your own excuses. Comfort is the opiate of the weak. It sedates the masses, numbs their spirit, keeps them docile. But if you are watching this, if you can hear my voice right now, you are not meant to be weak. You are not meant to be ordinary. Somewhere inside you, there is a force that is hungry for more. A force that despises mediocrity. A force that demands you rise. You must ignite that force by rejecting comfort, by making choices that terrify you. by saying yes to the challenge you would normally avoid, by training your mind and body to withstand what others cannot. This is not about motivation. In Motivation Dies the Moment Comfort Returns, this is about principle. It is about ruling yourself as a king would rule his kingdom, with discipline, with authority, with an iron hand. Ask yourself, if today were the last day of your life, would you be proud of the choices comfort made for you? Would you be proud of the time you wasted, the potential you buried, the greatness you abandoned? Or would you feel anger that you bound down to an enemy that never deserved your loyalty? Comfort is not your friend. It is the mask worn by weakness. It is the thief of ambition, the destroyer of dreams, the killer of empires before they are ever born. To change your life, you must tear that mask away. You must stand face to face with your own limitations and declare that they will no longer rule you. Because the harsh truth is this: in the life you want, the freedom you crave, the success you dream of, it is all waiting for you on the other side of discomfort. And until you accept that, nothing will change. If comfort is the silent assassin of greatness, then discipline is the sword that destroys it. But let me be clear, I am not speaking of ordinary discipline, the kind you practice only when convenient. I speak of ruthless self-discipline, the kind that bends your will into steel, the kind that makes weakness tremble, the kind that separates rulers from slaves. Discipline is not glamorous, it is not celebrated in the moment. It does not give you applause or instant reward. Discipline is repetition. Discipline is the merciless voice that commands you to do what must be done, not what you feel like doing. Discipline is the king that rules your life when motivation has fled. And understand this: motivation is fickle, it comes and goes like the wind. But discipline, when forged ruthlessly, does not bend, it does not waver, it becomes law. Think of history's greatest conquerors, leaders, and visionaries. They did not rise because they waited for inspiration. They did not succeed because they felt like working. They rose because they forced themselves into action, even when their bodies screamed to stop, even when their minds begged for rest. They ruled themselves with the same strictness with which a ruler commands an empire. And that is why they stood above the rest. Without ruthless discipline, you are a servant to your emotions. And emotions are treacherous rulers. One day they inspire you, the next, they betray you. They will trick you into waiting for the perfect moment, into believing that success can come without sacrifice. They will seduce you with excuses. And before you realize that, years have passed, and your potential lies buried in the graveyard of wasted ambition. But discipline, true discipline, is not seduced. It does not negotiate, it does not argue, it does not compromise, it demands, and you must obey. When you create a standard for yourself, when you declare that certain actions must be taken every single day regardless of circumstance, you strip away the illusion of choice. That is ruthless discipline. It is no longer a matter of, should I do this? It becomes a matter of, this is done. A ruler does not ask his soldiers if they feel ready to fight. He commands them in, and they obey. That is how you must treat yourself. You are both the ruler and the soldier. You are the one who issues the order, and you are the one who executes it. If you allow yourself to debate, you lose. If you allow yourself to hesitate, you weaken. The only path forward is obedience to your own command. This is where most people fail. They think discipline is a suggestion. They think it is something they can pick up when convenient and abandon when uncomfortable. But the truth is, discipline only works when it is absolute. You cannot negotiate with it. You cannot practice it sometimes. You cannot claim to have discipline if you abandon it the moment it becomes inconvenient. That is weakness dressed in disguise. And here is the brutal truth: discipline is painful. It will hurt. It will strip you of pleasure. It will demand sacrifices from you that others are unwilling to make. But that pain is not destruction. It is transformation. Just as iron is tempered in fire, just as muscles are built by tearing and rebuilding, your will is forged in the struggle of discipline. Those who cannot endure this process remain ordinary. Those who embrace it become extraordinary. Let me give you an image. Imagine two men. One lives by emotion. He wakes up when he feels like it. He works when it is easy. He indulges when it is tempting. His life is comfortable but directionless. His days blur together. His potential lies dormant. Now imagine the second man. He rises at dawn not because he wants to, but because his discipline commands him. He works tirelessly, not because it is enjoyable, but because it is necessary. He says no to weakness, no to indulgence, no to every temptation that steals from his destiny. His life is not comfortable, but it is powerful. His path is carved in stone. He does not ask permission from life. He takes what he demands. That man will rule while the other will be ruled. Discipline is the difference. It is the invisible crown on the head of every conqueror. But here lies another truth: the world will not reward you for your intentions. It will not reward you for your dreams. It will only reward you for your execution. And execution is the child of discipline. Without discipline, your goals are fantasies. With discipline, your fantasies become inevitabilities. Do you understand now why I say ruthless discipline? Because ordinary discipline is not enough. Ordinary discipline bends under pressure, it breaks when fatigue sets in, it disappears when temptation grows strong. But ruthless discipline is unyielding. It treats excuses as enemies, it views weakness as treason, it sees hesitation as a crime against destiny. That is the kind of discipline that builds empires. And know this, discipline is not only about action, it is about identity. It is not something you do, it is something you become. You must see yourself as a disciplined being. It must be part of your nature. Just as a lion does not ask permission to hunt, just as fire does not ask whether it should burn, you must act without debate. When discipline is part of who you are, you no longer struggle to maintain it. You simply live it. Many people fear discipline because they believe it takes away freedom. But in truth, discipline is the only path to freedom. Without discipline, you are a slave to laziness, a servant to distraction, a captive of your own impulses. With discipline, you are free to achieve what others cannot. You are free to command your future. You are free to rule yourself, and in ruling yourself, you gain power to influence the world around you. But make no mistake, freedom is not given. Freedom is earned through sacrifice. And sacrifice is the bloodline of discipline. You will sacrifice comfort. You will sacrifice excuses. You will sacrifice the approval of those who are weak and wish for you to remain weak with them. But the reward is power. The reward is greatness. The reward is the unshakable knowledge that you have ruled yourself and therefore no one else can rule you. So let me ask you, what commands are you giving yourself? Are they the commands of a weak ruler who hesitates, who negotiates, who bends to fear? Or are they the commands of a sovereign who demands obedience, who accepts nothing less than victory, who understands that discipline is not an option but a law? Your future depends on your answer, because every choice you make either strengthens or weakens the kingdom within you. Every time you obey your discipline, you grow stronger. Every time you betray it, you give power to weakness, and weakness, once empowered, does not stay quiet. It grows, it spreads, it consumes, until the ruler within you is dethroned and mediocrity takes the crown. This is the war you fight every day. Not against the world, not against circumstance, but against yourself. Against the part of you that craves comfort. Against the part of you that whispers excuses. Against the part of you that fears sacrifice. And the only weapon sharp enough to win this war is ruthless self-discipline. The greatest enemy is not the world outside you. It is not the critics, the failures, or the obstacles. No, the greatest enemy sits within your own mind, whispering lies, feeding you excuses, wrapping you in chains you mistake for comfort. The human mind is cunning. It will invent stories to protect your weakness. It will convince you that delay is wisdom, that hesitation is prudence, that mediocrity is acceptable. These are not truths. These are lies, and they are the lies that bury dreams, that murder ambition, that choke greatness before it can breathe. Excuses are poison disguised as logic. They sound reasonable. They sound safe. They sound intelligent. But understand this, the mind does not create excuses to protect your success. It creates them to protect your comfort. Every excuse is the defense mechanism of a weaker version of yourself. The version that fears pain, fears effort, fears the ruthless discipline required for transformation. How many times have you heard the voice inside say, "I don't have time"? But time is not given. Time is taken. You waste hours in distraction, yet you convince yourself you are too busy. The truth is not that you lack time. The truth is that you lack priority. Or perhaps you've told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow is the great lie of the weak. Tomorrow is the graveyard where your ambitions go to die. Tomorrow is an illusion that never arrives, because when it does, it becomes today, and again you delay. Excuses are infinite. I'm too tired. I don't know how. I'm not ready. The timing isn't right. These phrases are the language of slaves, not rulers. They are the vocabulary of mediocrity, and every time you repeat them, you tighten the noose around your own potential. You make yourself smaller, weaker, more fragile. You give away your crown and kneel before the false kin of comfort. You must learn to expose these lies for what they are. Do not reason with them. Do not negotiate with them. Do not entertain them. The only path is to destroy them. When the voice says, "I don't have time," you respond, "I will make time." When the voice says, "I'm not ready," you respond, "I will act now and grow through action." When the voice says, "I cannot," you respond, "I must." This is how you reclaim dominion over your own mind. Do not be deceived into thinking that excuses are harmless. They are weapons. Every excuse you accept is a strike against your own empire, and once excuses gain ground, they do not retreat, they advance. One small excuse today leads to a larger one tomorrow, until your entire life is governed by a kingdom of lies. The man who tolerates excuses once will tolerate them again, and soon, He is not the ruler of his life, he is the prisoner of it. But let us go deeper, for the Machiavellian truth is this: excuses are not only lies, they are betrayals, and they are acts of treason against your own destiny. When you make an excuse, you are declaring that your comfort matters more than your future, that your weakness is more worthy of loyalty than your potential. It is self-betrayal disguised as self-protection, and nothing destroys a man faster than betrayal from within. Think of the empires that fell not from outside invasion, but from corruption within. Rome did not collapse because its enemies were stronger. It collapsed because it rotted from inside, weakened by indulgence, arrogance, and betrayal. In the same way, your life will not be destroyed by the world. It will be destroyed by the excuses you accept, the lies you tolerate, the comfort you worship. And here is the cruel irony. The excuses you invent feel protective in the moment, but they always come with a debt. You borrow comfort today, but you pay with regret tomorrow. You borrow easily now, but you pay with failure later. Regret is the interest collected on excuses, and it compounds with time. The man who makes one excuse today makes 10 tomorrow, and by the end of his life, he is drowning in a debt of regret that cannot be repaid. You must shatter excuses with truth. The truth is that time is created, not found. The truth that readiness is a myth, that action itself creates readiness. The truth is that fear will never disappear, and therefore you must act in spite of it. The truth that weakness dies only when it is starved, and it is starved only when you refuse to feed it excuses. Do you want freedom? Then destroy the lies. Do you want power? Then reject the excuses. Do you want to rise above the masses? Then silence the voice that tells you to wait, to rest, to retreat, because that voice is not your ally. That voice is your executioner dressed in the robe of reason. Most people will never win this war. They will live their entire lives shackled by excuses. They will disguise their weakness as wisdom, their fear as caution, their laziness as balance. They will tell you they are being realistic. They will tell you they are protecting themselves. But the truth is, they are protecting their mediocrity, and they want you to join them. They will encourage your excuses because it validates their own. And if you allow it, they will drag you down with them into the pit of wasted potential. That is why you must not only shatter your own excuses, you must also shatter the influence of others who live by them. If you surround yourself with those who tolerate lies, you will begin to tolerate them too. But if you surround yourself with those who demand more, who do not permit excuses, who treat weakness as treason, then you will rise with them. You must be ruthless not only with yourself, but with your environment. Ask yourself, how many opportunities have I destroyed with my own excuses? How many times have I delayed, postponed, or abandoned my goals because I listened to the voice of weakness? How many moments of greatness slipped through my fingers because I was too afraid to act, too comfortable to move, too willing to lie to myself? And most importantly, how many more will I allow to slip away? The answer is clear: not one more, not another day, not another excuse. If you want to change your life, you must become intolerant of lies. You must become merciless toward the voice of weakness. You must become the ruler who allows no treason, no betrayal, no excuse to live within his walls, because excuses are not just obstacles, they are assassins. And if you do not kill them, they will kill you. Life is war. Whether you recognize it or not, every day you wake is a battlefield. The enemies are not always visible. They are doubt, fear, distraction, excuses, and weakness. They surround you, waiting for a moment of hesitation. And here is the brutal truth. In this war, you either conquer or you are conquered. There is no neutrality. There is no safe middle ground. To claim dominion over your life means to rise as the ruler of this battlefield, to seize control of your destiny with an iron grip, to declare that nothing, not fear, not laziness, not circumstance, will govern you but yourself. Most people live as subjects, not rulers. They wake each day serving the commands of fear. They obey the orders of distraction. They kneel before the temptations of weakness. They do not command their lives. They are commanded by them. They are ruled by the ticking clock, by the demands of others, by the chaos of chance. But a man who does not rule his own life will never rule anything greater. If you cannot control yourself, you are unfit to control your future. To claim dominion is to take absolute responsibility, not partial, not conditional, not selective, absolute. No more blaming the world, no more blaming your past, no more pointing fingers at your parents, your environment, your government, your boss, or your enemies. Responsibility means the crown rests on your head and the weight is yours to bear. Weak men collapse under that weight. Strong men grow stronger beneath it. The crown is heavy, yes, but it is also the source of your power, and understand this: dominion begins within. You cannot rule a kingdom if you cannot rule your mind. You cannot command respect if you cannot command your own impulses. You cannot shape the world if you are enslaved to distraction, addiction, and laziness. To claim dominion over your life, you must become ruthless in self-mastery. You must silence the rebellion of excuses. You must crush the uprisings of fear. You must execute the traitors of doubt. Only then can you establish your reign. Ask yourself, what governs me right now? Is it discipline or weakness? Is it courage or fear? Is it clarity or chaos? Whatever rules you internally will shape everything externally. If your mind is ruled by excuses, your life will be ruled by failure. If your soul is ruled by fear, your future will be ruled by regret. But if your heart is ruled by discipline, your life will be ruled by power. Do not mistake this for arrogance. Dominion is not about controlling others. It is not about tyranny over the world. It is about sovereignty over yourself. The man who rules himself has no need to dominate anyone else, because he already possesses the greatest kingdom of all, mastery over his own existence. The weak try to control others because they cannot control themselves. The strong have no need, for their dominion is complete. But here lies the Machiavellian truth. The world respects only power, and power begins with self-rule. When you claim dominion over your life, when you prove through action that you are not swayed by fear, not seduced by excuses, not weakened by indulgence, the world bends to you. Opportunities appear, respect is granted, influence grows. Why? Because true dominion cannot be faked. People sense it. They feel it in your presence, in your words, in your actions. They recognize a ruler when they see one, because rulers are rare. Most people hand over their crown willingly. They surrender to the first obstacle. They bow down to laziness. They submit to the comfort that keeps them small, and then they wonder why their lives remain ordinary, why their dreams remain out of reach. It is because they never seized the throne. They never claimed dominion. They never declared themselves sovereign over their own existence. But you are here now listening to these words because something inside you refuses to bow. Something inside you is tired of being ruled by fear, by doubt, by distraction. Something inside you knows you were meant to rise to take the crown, and to sit on the throne of your own destiny. That hunger you feel is the calling of sovereignty. It is the reminder that you were never born to serve weakness. You were born to rule yourself, and know this dominion is not given, it is taken. No one will hand you your life on a silver platter. No one will gift you freedom. No one will grant you power. The world does not care about your potential. It only respects execution. It only bows to those who seize what they demand. Dominion is claimed through relentless discipline, through the destruction of excuses, through the daily conquest of comfort. It is claimed in the choices you make when no one is watching, in the battles you fight against yourself in silence, in the victories you carve out through sweat and sacrifice. You must see yourself as a sovereign, as the ruler of your own kingdom. Every thought is a subject. Every habit is a soldier. Every action is a law. Weak rulers allow rebellion within their walls. Strong rulers enforce order. Which one are you? When fear rises in your mind, do you let it march freely, or do you crush it with command? When laziness whispers, do you grant it audience, or do you banish it as treason? The strength of a ruler is measured by the order of his kingdom, and your life is no different. The crown you wear is invisible, but it is real. It is forged by every choice you make. When you act with discipline, the crown strengthens. When you shatter excuses, the crown shines brighter. When you embrace discomfort and reject weakness, the crown becomes unbreakable. But when you give in to laziness, when you bow to fear, when you betray your own destiny, the crown slips, and with it goes your power. Remember, this dominion does not mean perfection. Even the greatest rulers face rebellion. Even the strongest empires face attack. What matters is not whether weakness tries to rise. It always will. What matters is whether you crush it. What matters is whether you stand firm, whether you enforce your laws, whether you refuse to bow. A strong ruler does not prevent challenges, he conquers them. This is the life you must choose. To live not as a servant to chance, not as a victim of circumstance, not as a prisoner of excuses, but as the sovereign ruler of your own destiny. You are the king, the queen, the emperor of your existence. But only if you choose to seize the throne. You have heard the truth, the harsh truth about comfort, the unrelenting demand for ruthless discipline, the necessity of shattering excuses, and the call to claim dominion over your life. These are not theories. These are not philosophies. These are laws of power. And like all laws, you either obey them or you are crushed by them. The world is not kind to the weak. It does not wait for the hesitant. It does not reward the excuse maker. The world bows only to those who seize it, to those who embrace the discomfort others run from, to those who discipline themselves with an iron will, to those who silence the lies and stand as sovereign rulers of their destiny. Every day you wake, the crown is waiting. Every day you open your eyes, the battlefield of life awaits your command, but the crown will not place itself upon your head. The battlefield will not conquer itself. You must rise, you must choose. You must take what is yours with force, with courage, with relentless action. Do not leave this moment unchanged. Do not let these words fade into the background noise of your life, for the enemy within is listening to, and it is waiting for you to forget, waiting for you to fall back into comfort, waiting for you to bow once more. Defy it, resist it, conquer it. The time is now, the crown is yours, the throne is waiting. Rule your life, or be ruled by it.